Hey guys, today we are going to just sit here and have a little chit chat with Mamaw and Papaw. Slide on up, Mamaw and Papaw. We're too far back. We'll get closer. We're all on our roller chairs here in the new auction house. we can play bumper cars.
Might need to use
Oh,
it
that's
sometime.
so fun. So we've had a lot of you guys that have asked about Mamaw and Papaw, and today you guys need to just sit around and talk Mamaw and Papaw one time. So now it's quieter. We're going to do this little chit chat here where you guys can hear us and see us and stuff. And background, Mamaw, I know when I was a little kid, all I ever remember was being in the auction business. So how did that get started?
Well, Dad was in his 30s, was he?
I was 30, I think.
30 when you got your auction license?
Yes.
And Lucas got his license today, and he's
Yeah.
19.
Yes.
19.
You
19.
can jump on me.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, he did 11 years earlier than you. Okay.
I built trucks, so I had to kind of wait till I got enough vacation time.
So you worked at, for those of you that don't know, Dad retired from Navistar, built trucks for 30 years?
34, I think.
34 years. Worked on the assembly line building trucks. And his side gig was the auctions and antiques. And I grew up in the side gig.
Yeah. Because like at one time, you talking about not seeing my family, I'd sell 5 nights a week.
Yeah, Dad, I remember that.
Full-time job.
Full-time job, get home at 3:30, 4 o'clock range, and then get a quick bite to eat, jump in the truck and take off and go auction until 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Sometimes on Friday or Saturday night, it'd be the 1 in the morning.
Till 1 in the morning on Friday and Saturday nights. Yep, I remember that. Matter of fact, I remember you would often show up at like a football game or something at, just for like part of it, for a quarter or a half, and then you take off again because you were so busy.
I remember I'd sell Tremont auction. There was another guy there that auctioned. He said, "Hey, want me to give you a break?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "How long you think you sell?" He said, "Oh, I don't know, half hour." So I said, "Oh, yeah, okay." I put him on there. I slipped out the back door. And I went
to the ball game.
And see what was going on, and then ran back.
That's perfect. So you got your license when you were 30, and how did you get inspired to get into the auction business?
Well, ever since I was a little kid, my uncle had he had an auction house right here in Springfield back in the 50s, and he was auction every Tuesday. I'd go there, and my dad and them was always, I don't know if they worked it or they probably did, because my brothers worked it.
Probably all worked the floor and stuff.
My sister worked in the restaurant.
Yeah.
And I roamed around, got in trouble.
I understand what that's like at an auction house.
Yeah.
So that's interesting that even in the 50s that our family was all working in and around for each other, with each other.
Yeah.
We still do that same thing today. I mean, like there's
Yeah.
a lot of family working here in the business and stuff. That's interesting. When you were a kid, it was the same way.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting? Pat Day came to them auctions.
And Pat Day would come to those auctions.
Yeah.
She was a buyer in the 50s.
Yes. She's been around forever.
Oh, that's so funny. So you were running around there as a kid, and I remember you telling me that story about a truck or something you wanted, and you were playing with it, and then they said you broke it.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. That was an interesting
Well,
story.
that was over on Clifton Avenue at that auction. And I was my oldest brother, which he's 10 years older than me anyhow, isn't he? But he was working there, and then my cousin Ronnie.
Yeah.
They were working back there. My uncle was auctioning, and they called me to their back there, and he says, "Hey, come here. We seen you playing with this." I said, "I was not." I said, "Yes, you was, and you broke it." I was saying I didn't do it, and my uncle, I looked at him, and he was just laughing his head off. So I thought, "Oh, something's up." And then they said, "Here, you might as well take it. It's no good now to be sold." So he gave me that truck. That little truck.
That's funny.
It was so great.
How old were you? 5 or 6, 7, somewhere in there?
Yeah, because I was born in 49. He built his auction house in Florida in 1956. So I was seeing that around.
Yeah, so before he went to Florida.
Yes, before he went to
you're probably
Florida.
5 or 6. That's interesting. So as far as getting in the auction business, you got your license in 81, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
80 or 81?
80,
I think it was 81 when
Somewhere.
the license.
You got your apprentice in
81
80 and you got your
Yeah.
license in 81. So,
Yeah.
and Lucas got lucky. He didn't have to apprentice for a year.
I know it.
I had to apprentice for a year under
I
you.
did
You had to
too.
apprentice for a year. And he comes in, just goes to school and takes a test, and he's licensed.
He's licensed.
Change the laws on us
Yeah.
now. But so Papaw got his license at 81, and then you started the auction there in Donaldsville at what year? Was that like 83 or 5 or
I think
6
it was
or?
83, between 82 and 83, because it was.
Because the furniture store
It was
first.
furniture store first, yeah.
Because you were renting the building,
Yeah.
you, as a furniture store, just selling whatever.
Yeah.
And then you turned it into an auction like in the early 80s.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. That's what I remember. I was so in 80. I was 5 years old in 80. I was born in 75. So I remember when I always having that building, the furniture store, and then always having an auction house there, and growing up in there and messing with the same era of stuff. The same time you were doing
Because
the auctions.
there was a long period of time there back in, and I was laid off from work, and I said, let's just turn this right into an auction.
Yeah.
We did that. My uncle used to bring me loads up from Florida back in,
Yeah, I remember that.
and I was always worried that it wasn't bringing enough for him. He said, I'm making money, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And it was fun. I remember you used to sit on that table behind me.
Yep. I always get on that table behind you and watch the auction.
We'll put you back there. We'll put Josh down in the office with her.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's when you had to handwrite all the tickets.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
So
yeah.
now everything's digital and all automated, digital. You used to have to handwrite every single ticket as something
And
was being
run somebody
sold.
upstairs to get the tickets and bring them down. And
Yep.
Yeah.
Everything was handwritten. No computers.
No computers.
That
Had
sure
little
changed
slots.
a lot. So what do you think
Yeah.
about that? We had an auction. How many people would come to an auction? 50, 70 people range?
In Donaldsville,
Yeah.
oh, we'd go over 100 a lot of times.
It just depended.
We would pack it. Because we even got we would sell upstairs and down.
Right.
We'd sell smalls upstairs and then go down at 9 o'clock and sell the furniture.
Yep.
We'd
So-
start at 5 upstairs. And then go
And then
down.
at 9 o'clock, we'd go downstairs.
So there's an interesting evolution that you've witnessed in this business. Is think about that. We used to sell in a 2-story building, and we get 100 people. And we thought it was a big crowd and a good, great, and it was a huge crowd.
Yeah.
Last week we had an auction with the 5 of us sitting in here on computers, and we had 14,000 registered bidders on one site, and then we had 300 live people, and then we had another 10,000 registered on another site.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing change?
It
Yes.
is. It is
And
amazing.
it's better. I mean, for the business and even people, they don't have to come to the sale because they can get it right out of their home or wherever.
Well,
they're
and that's the
at.
thing is, it's a different kind of auction completely. First off, we're selling almost everything we sell is shippable. So this last auction was all jewelry.
Yeah.
But in Donaldsville, we would sell all that big furniture.
Oh,
and,
we
then-
sold
Yes.
everything.
and then you had to
Antiques,
like,
refrigerators.
I remember you guys would drop us off. You would print flyers up, and then you would drop us off out at the Springfield Extravaganza.
Yeah.
And we'd go handing out flyers to everybody. Berner Auction, Donaldsville,
Because
Ohio.
that night we would have an auction, and
We always would go Saturday night of the antique
That's
show.
actually kind of where I got kind of close to Bruce, and you did too. I mean,
Yeah.
but I thought he would get mad about me passing them out, but he liked the
initiative. He liked the
he
idea.
liked the idea that I was figuring out how to do something.
Yeah. Oh, Bruce is always that way.
Yeah.
It was funny. I remember the one sale, Bruce, he got that flyer and he was reading through it. And he said, "You got all this selling there tonight?" And I said, "Yeah." And then he showed up and he bought a bunch of it.
Yeah.
And he was worn out because he had been at the show all day. But he came, and I remember that one time he was buying Nippon and Prussia and all that stuff, and he was just covered in dirt and just kept buying. He couldn't quit.
Well, that's like back then. We'd make our sale bill up and we put it in a couple local papers, and then we'd have to take it and drive it to Indiana
Yeah.
to the Antique Weekly
Yep.
and put it in it.
And that's sure a lot different, isn't
a
it?
lot different, yeah.
And
Yeah,
it
you
kinda-
really had to plan.
you had to plan a lot, and then you had to hit those deadlines, and you had to do the 1 hour photo development on on 35 millimeter. Now we use telephones, and it's instant.
Yeah, the
you don't like that picture, just take another one.
Yes. And you didn't picture everything like we did now, because you only pictured certain items to put on
just
the
highlight the auction. You didn't photo every item in the
No.
auction. So an auction might have 5 or 10 photos with neat things in it. Now we photo 1,000 items with 10 pictures each.
Yeah, I know.
Man, while still photoing, you did such a good job all those years. You just haven't got away from photoing yet.
I guess.
Well, tell us a couple interesting stories about the old auction there in Donaldsville, and maybe something that stuck to your mind.
Well, I think just learning how to do the operation. When we first started, a friend of ours who had an auction house came, Tommy and his wife, and she showed me all of the details, how to do the clerking, and not so much that, but the business part. Settling up the sale, and getting everybody's tickets ready, and how to check them out. And so that was very inspiring that she took the time to do that.
I tell you, one of the most interesting times for me, we had some pretty nice items in the sale, and I had this sideboard that was just fantastic. And it was I forget what kind it was now, but it was an old one. It's a nice one, and it sold. The guy bid on it. And then he come up there, and you boys was all back there, and he talked to you. And then he walked back out front and was bidding on a few other things. He bought a couple of paintings I had and stuff like that. But you boys took that sideboard, and I seen you all went back and got a furniture pad and covered that baby up. Like, what the heck? And then I said, I'm glad to see the boys are really taking care of people's furniture. He covered it up real good, yes. And I said, after the sale, I said, what was that all about with that? And you guys said, well, that guy come back and give us all $20 a piece and said, I don't want to scratch on that. And,
well, that's what happens.
Yeah.
$20 shoved in your hand, you take care of that guy.
And that's why I checked and said, who is this guy? And he's from the Toronto Music Company. It's like Hollywood in Canada. He bought that piece, and he bought a couple of paintings they'd seen.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Oh, some of that stuff is just hilarious.
I can remember when the first time when you bought something that was really high dollar, and we was at the yard sale, and you wanted to buy it, and I said, no, that's a little too much. And you said, no, it's not, Mom. I promise you, we'll make money. And I said, oh, Jacob. I said, are you sure? And he says, yes. And I said, okay. So he bought it, and then that night at the sale, that thing went crazy. It brought so much money, and he was just grinning from ear to ear, and I was just thinking, so happy for you. I said, well, I guess I'm gonna let him pick from now on. I'm not gonna worry about what he buys.
So when I was in the 6th, 7th, 8th grade, I would skip school and go on house calls with Mamaw. When Dad was working, and so if they would get an estate call in or something, I would just go with Mamaw. And so we went on one. I remember. Remember all those Oliver tractors I bought? I don't know if you remember that or not.
I kind of do.
The green tractors. There was all kind of tractors, and they were I don't know, $10 and $20 each is what the guy wanted. And mom just was like, we can't spend that kind of money on these things. And we I said, yeah, we are. We're going to buy these. I don't know what grade I was in, 6th or 7th grade. And I remember when we auctioned them off, they brought from like 50 to 200 each, just one after another. Yeah. And we bought the whole group for. I don't even remember how much it was now, but that he knew what he wanted. He's like, I want 10 for this one, 15, 20, and 10. And that was one of those times where I used to skip school, and Mom and I would go on house calls and buy stuff.
Yeah, I had to take his word for it because I wasn't sure about anything. After that, a couple times, I says, whatever you think. He knew more than I did.
Me, I'm going to grab something today. I said, oh, okay. I'm going to keep Jacob out of school. What?
Dr. Poor was the principal a lot of my school years, and he finally just was like, you're good. I know what you're doing. Just go with your mom. And it's not an excuse, but I know what you're doing. You're not going to be in trouble.
But Jacob was a good student, so he did his schoolwork well.
Yeah, the schoolwork was never extremely hard, I didn't think. Kind of like Lucas, like that, I just was able to do it pretty easy. But I love the auctions and antiques always. I remember one time Dad bought a group of stuff, and he was extremely happy with the group. And I was little, I wanted to help carry stuff, and he had this great big. In my mind, it was probably like 3 feet tall. It was like a ceramic statue. And I said, I'll carry that one. And I know it wasn't that big. It was probably like a 15-inch one, but I was pretty small. And he said, okay, but whatever you do, don't break it. I was like, all right, I won't. So I had that thing tucked in my arm, and I go through there, and we have a screen door. And I open up that screen door, and I'm really careful, and I step up inside. I'm like, oh, I made it. And then the screen door went, whoom, and smacked the back of that thing and broke the whole back of it off. I was like, oh. I didn't know what to think. I was like, I was so careful.
Oh, things happen.
Yeah, they happen.
That's one thing about it in the business. You're going to break something every now and then.
Oh, yeah.
You just can't let it get to you.
No, you got to laugh and go on.
It kind of hurts sometimes. You pay a couple $100 for something and you break it. Oh, God.
Yeah, it can get bad quick. So, Mamaw, you used to collect a lot of miniatures.
Yeah.
That's kind of how you started collecting. You still got a bunch of them?
I still have some, yes. But I gave a lot of them to my granddaughters and grandsons.
Yeah.
I let them come in and they just went through my stuff and picked out what they liked. And
Yeah.
I says, okay, it's yours. And
Yeah, that's cool.
so I like to do that.
And then Papaw, you got all kinds of different collections stored up there at the house now. And you got like an eclectic mix of A to Z, just kind of whatever you like, he keeps. But I remember, I think you've always thought a lot of that big oak china cabinet you got with the lion heads on it.
Yes, I did. It's so. That's the one piece that made me really realize where antiques have went to and where they come back down from. Because when I bought that, I give. Oh, you remember what I give for that? $600 or something like that. Which is, man, that's a good buy. And I bought it off a friend of mine whose mother had passed away, and he wanted to get rid of it.
Yeah.
But anyhow, I bought it, and it sat there in our house. And my uncle was up from Florida and took him in. He was in there. He looked at, it, and he offered me $3,200 for it. I thought, wow, that thing worth that? He said, yeah, bring that down to Florida now. And then fast forward another 15, 20 years, and there's better, what, $300-400 now?
Probably back down to the $6 on that one. That's a pretty good one. I mean, I'll give you $6 for it if you want to sell it. But it's definitely way less.
Oh, yeah.
So it went from $600, $700, $800 up to $3,000, $3,500, and then now it's back down to $600, $700, $800 again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything's cyclical, though. I mean, you used to collect
Yeah.
Avon bottles, and you used to pay big money for those. Now we for 25 years, we haven't been able to get anybody to buy them for a box full at a time.
You talked about when you buy collections or buy stuff, you always keep a memory or something like that. And I can remember one thing that we did. We bought a big clock collection. Was it from the Houston estate? Is that where we got all those clocks? But there was this one clock we kept, and it's called a gimbal gong. And
a gimbal gong?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And we kept that, and that reminds me of that time.
Of that estate.
Yeah, of that estate, and it's just a memory. It probably works. I've never wound it, but I just like looking at it, and
That's
it's just
fun.
kind of a special clock.
Oh, that one hanging in the... Yeah, that come out of Doc Heisted's house.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
The name of the Heisted estates after him.
Yeah.
The doctor that we hung in his house.
Now, is that the one that lived where Noah lives now?
No, that was
No.
Doc Engling.
Doc Engling,
Doc
okay.
Heisen lived up there where you go around the corner on 40, that big brick home that's down there.
Right there on the curve before you get out to the interstate.
He had an office
Yes,
down there.
I know what you're talking
everything.
about.
Yeah.
Yep, okay.
And we used
Now
to-
they sell bread and stuff. down
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Okay. Big early home, 1840s Ohio homes, what he's talking about. Well, that's interesting. It's crazy how the business changes and how you get started. And for all of us, except Mom married into it, but we grew up in it. Just kind of always been a part of our DNA and life.
Yeah.
And now Lucas he's over there cataloging still. It's 6:30 at night, and him and Josiah are both excited to be a part of the business. And they're over there. They said they're going to stay and work till 9. I was like, that great, go at it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I've done many times where Matter of fact, Dad, when we were out here, even Silk and I, when we first came out here in the late '90s, we actually had many auctions where we would do a live preview and stuff, and then we'd have an auction like the following day. We'd have preview all day Saturday and auction Sunday. Well, Friday night we would set up, and sometimes we would work till 4, 5, 6 in the morning setting everything up and getting it all right, and cleaning every single piece, waxing it, polishing furniture, and making sure it was perfectly set, and getting the catalog put together, all that stuff. We'd work all the way till 5, 6, 7 in the morning. Sometimes go home, sleep for 20 minutes, and then go back at it.
Yeah.
But, that was normal, though. I mean, we've always just you work till it's done. There's not really a set time.
Yeah.
But when we were in Donaldsville, I remember we would work late at night, and then of course I'd get up and go drive the bus, and then.
Mom's a retired school bus driver. I don't know if you guys know that yet, but how many years did you drive school bus?
39.
39 years school bus driver, retired to join the auction business. So we're happy for that.
Well, I did bus driving while we had the auction in Donaldsville, but it was very consuming, and I worked late at nights because I couldn't get there during the day so much, and so there was a lot of nights.
Basically, you had to do 2 full-time jobs.
Basically. But it was fun. I enjoyed it, and I wouldn't change it. The auction business is such a unique business, and I've seen it kind of evolve.
Yeah.
From the clerking sheets, trying to add everything up to where you have to wait on everything to go up and see if there's anything left. Now you just go up to the clerk, say I'm ready to check out. She prints it out, and there it is.
Yeah.
And even before that.
I think one of the funniest times I had is I got a call from a lady. She said, do you know where Roseville is? I said, yes. Roseville Pottery? She said, yes. She said, well, I got a whole showcase for it. I want to sell it to you. I said, okay. So I go over to her house. She takes me in. I get my pad out, and I'm writing numbers down, flipping. And, I took about 20, 25 minutes going through it. And she said, what are you doing? I said, I'm figuring out what to offer you for it. And she said, I already know what I want for it. I said, what do you want for it? She said, $300 for all of it. And it really ticked me off when she said that, because I thought, she don't appreciate Roseville. Because I said, that piece right there would bring over 300. And she goes, well, I don't care. And I said, where'd you get this stuff? She said, my grandma sent me a piece all the time. She kept sending me Roseville, and she hated it. She didn't like. She said, my grandma passed away, and I just want to get rid of it. I said, $300. I had to make her take $600. I think it brought like $4,000, but I had to make her take $600, and I thought, this is crazy. Me going and looking and making the woman take more
than she wants.
She wants, and felt bad packing it out of there. Good God.
You just never know in this business. That's the interesting about what you shared. From my view, is that you just don't know what anybody thinks about anything any given day. Because I had a lady last week that walked in here, and she had a 1 ounce gold coin, and I just sold the exact same coin for $2,100 a week ago, and I was going to pay her $2,000 for it, and I didn't even get that out. I said I just sold one for $2,100, and she was already insulted that at $2,100. She was like, "Well," and just got up and left. I was like, well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. I just sold the exact same coin for $2,100, and gold's sitting around $2,000. So anyway, you never know. Like people, they have, different people have different things for different reasons. They inherit it, they collect it. A combination of a lot of it's memories. Sometimes they got stuff they don't really want. They just want it out. They got to clear the house out. We've been in these states where the stuff inside the house was the least of the issues. They wanted it gone. It was more about how fast can you get this stuff out of here. It wasn't about price. It's how fast can you empty this house, because we've got to sell it. We got to do this with it. We got to do this with it. We have to settle this estate. And we were with lots of dealers that would work in these states. I had a call today. A guy was showing me video. I was on a video call with him. He walked through the whole estate, and he's like, well, you want to buy this estate? And I was like, I don't really know. It's a lot of furniture. It's a lot of hard work. And he says, doesn't matter. The price will be right. And so we negotiated. He ended up buying. My friend ended up buying it. That was videoing with me, and I'm gonna go look at what he actually bought on Sunday. And it was not about the money. It was completely about they have to get the house empty. And that happens a lot. South Florida, especially the condos down there that we work with people in, and it's like they got a $1 million condo. They want it sold. The $30,000-$40,000 worth of antiques inside. It's got to go. Like they need this condo empty so they can refurbish it. And it's about time a lot more. And situations like what you just described, that does happen. You know, we try and give fair prices for everything we buy, and we work with people, and that's why we get so much volume. We never want to try and underpay anytime, but a lot of times the situations are where time is of the essence, where even that we'll have more costs in some of those. This deal in Columbus, it'll take me a whole crew of people to go pick it up. It's not like it's an easy thing. It's cost me a couple $1,000s just to have it moved. So you got to figure all that stuff in too, and then when we got overhead when we sell. I mean that's all calculated into how you make pricing and stuff. But
I can remember when also part of the auctioning that we did was household sales too. So we went to the house and we sold everything for them. We set it all up. We even had a food truck. I've served food. I've clerked.
You even had your real estate license.
Yes, I have.
Both of you did.
I had a real estate license.
You auctioned real estate for a while, and
so it's been interesting. Never a dull moment. I mean, we've always been busy in something.
Don't you think that there's always a market? The market goes up and down, but there's always a market.
Yes.
For almost anything. Even like furniture today, a guy earlier said, I bought a big Victorian bedroom suit at a household auction last season for $50. He said it used to be $1,000, but he still bought it. It still moved. It still sold. I mean, that's an extreme example, but everything goes up, everything goes down. It kind of changes. And right now, at the Antique Center, I'm noticing an increase in like country and some of this stuff, and then a lot of the Victorian stuff starting to move again. Hard dark woods are starting to move again, so I'm seeing an uptick in a lot of categories and a lot of new interest with young couples, young people in their 20s.
That's good.
Getting into buying and selling and trading. And
hey, and then that's another thing too, that through all this stuff too, I also went to shows.
Oh yeah.
And traveled all over the place. Me and my friend, and we would set up one-day shows, and we'd set up a week show. We were always buying and selling, and it's been such a roller coaster fun type thing. I mean, you never know what you're going to do.
Did you ever think we'd be sitting here in America's biggest antique center now with the auction house?
No.
It's like surreal sometimes, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think
You just feel
a lot
blessed
of
to be able to
hard
be
work
here.
and dedication to what you do is really a big part of it.
Yeah, well, I always feel like God's always got a plan, and we just it was just timing for us. When it was our time now to just carry this into the future and pass it on.
When we first moved the auction out here to the Heart,
Mm-hmm.
when we made that decision, you wasn't married yet, was you?
I was going to be married.
Yes.
Yeah, Silk and I got married in '97. We got married, we bought a house, and we started our first auction out here all within 3 months.
Yeah.
And I got an ulcer.
Yeah.
That was so bad. The ulcer was the worst thing in my life.
I can remember on the plane flying to Germany. It was our wedding anniversary too.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And we was drinking wine or champagne on the airplane over because we'd made the decision to shut the auction in Donaldsville and move out here.
Yeah, it was. You just got to pursue and go forward, and hopefully it's in God's plan.
Yep.
Because He has a purpose for everything.
He does. Well, guys, listen, this is a little open talk with Mamaw and Papaw, just reminiscing on stories and a little bit of background on how they got into this and how we all got kind of started. You'll continue to hear little pieces here and there. We could talk for days, not even hours, but days, maybe months about all the stories and things we've done around the world, around the country. But Mamaw and Papaw right here, that's how we all got started. When Dad was little, his uncle was already in the business. When he was 5-6 years old, he was running around auctions, and I was raised the same way. Always had it in our blood, and we still do. And now Lucas is today is the next generation of Berner family auctioneers.
Yes, today.
That's like my uncle. Of all my uncles, he was always the happiest when I was little.
Yeah. it's fun business.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's no reason not
It's
to be
an
happy.
experience every day.
Well, you know, and you make some money sometimes, you lose some money sometimes. And we've had rough months and rough years. We've had great months and great years.
Oh,
But
Yeah.
hard work pays off, and you just keep going forward, and you learn every time. Every time you lose money on something or a deal, you don't make what you should have, whatever. You learn from it, and so
Yeah.
you got to keep
Yeah.
learning and go forward and be creative and hard pressed and keep learning. Anybody watch this video, like, never stop learning. I had no idea what kitsch was until the last couple of months. Never heard of a whatnot sale until 3 months ago.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, Lucas today he got his auction license, and Janet, our manager here at the Antique Center, said, "Well, we got to do a pop-up whatnot sale and let him auction his first item off." So he auctioned his first item on a pop-up whatnot sale.
there you go.
That's
Now
awesome.
think about that. As a licensed auctioneer, the
Yeah.
first thing he sold was on a pop-up whatnot sale. People right now are like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
Now we talked about old school paper, tear paper tickets, and we just did a video sale in which literally we just did a 5-minute warning, and we had 100 and some people, more people than the largest crowds in Donaldsville in a matter of 8 minutes, 5 minutes.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
All joined the auction, and we sold like 30 items
Yeah.
off the table up front, a wagon full of stuff
Yeah.
with no advertisement, no leeway, no time. It was all real time. It was just kind of like this guy. It was like yelling them through the internet. Hey, we're going to sell this stuff. Anybody want to jump in? Jump in. And then we had 100 and some people there, and sold it.
It's so amazing.
It's amazing.
So amazing.
Technology is evolving right now still,
Oh,
and it's going to continue to change.
Yes.
I think about when I was younger, Carl Mamaw.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember at the sale when he was aggravated because they would sell something and they'd have 2 or 3 guys. And you sell something, they'd carry it out, and they wore nail aprons with money in them,
Mm-hmm.
and they'd collect for that item.
So if they sold something for $10, the guy would go over there and give me the $10, and
Yeah.
then he'd make change if he needed
Yeah.
to, and yeah.
And I can remember the sale that was doing that, and about halfway through the sale, they switched over to clerking sheets because they just got them in as something brand new. And Carl said, "This new technology, he didn't like it."
Think about that.
Yeah.
What do you think he'd think about looking at a camera? And hey, Herb came up there earlier. He was watching. I said, "Herb, go get a tool and I'll sell it for you." And he goes, "Are you serious?" And he said, "Yeah, go grab a tool." So he brought me up a tool, and we sold a tool for Herb. It was crazy. Just, he would sit there and was watching it. He's just like, I just don't even know what to think. You mean? And he kept saying, "You mean they bought that?" I'm like, well, yeah. I said, well, you know.
Well, yeah, he's
He had $10 or $15 on it, and you know, he had said that he said, "I'll sell it to you for what I got on it, and you sell it." And we worked out a little deal there, and then I sold it, and then it brought like 42, and he was just 43 maybe, I don't know, just beside himself. Him and I talked after it was all over, and he says, I don't understand how this is even possible. But he's 92, so he was around when
Oh,
they
yeah.
used to do the cash and carry.
yeah, buy something and pay
And
for
now,
it right then.
now he just watched somebody buy something with no notice on a camera. He's like, I don't know what's going on here. I gotta go.
I guarantee you don't get that.
Well, guys, if you enjoyed this interview, follow us, subscribe to our channel at Berner Brothers Antiques is where we're on right now, and then also our other channel at Heart of Ohio Antiques. Blessings, you guys. We will see you soon, and thanks for watching again.
Bye.
Bye.